Hi, my name is Rahul Sani, and welcome to the class of IGCSE Business Studies. Today, we will be starting business activity. So, under business activity, we will be discuss about purpose of business activity, concepts of need, want, scarcity, and opportunity cost, importance of specialization, and the concept of adding value and how added value can be increased. So, these are the topic for today's class. Let us start. The first question is, what is the purpose of business activity? So the purpose of any business activity is to provide us with goods and services that satisfies our needs and wants. So take for example, there's this company which is an international business, Apple. Apple provides us with many goods, for example, iPads, iPhones, and they also provide us with services like iCloud, Apple Music, and these goods and services help us to satisfy our communication needs and also our entertainment needs and other needs. So this is how Apple is producing goods and services which is helping us to satisfy our needs and wants in the best possible way. Now let us discuss about what is the difference between goods and services. So here's a table which will help us to understand what is the difference between goods and services. So the first difference between goods and services is goods is something which is tangible, something which we can touch, something which we can see, but services are something which are intangible in nature. That means we cannot see services, we can only experience them. So take for example, if you buy a if you buy an iPhone or you buy some food or clothes, so that is something which is tangible in nature. So you can actually see them, you can actually feel them. So they are tangible in nature and they are qualified as goods. While talking about services, when you visit a dentist or hairdresser, whatever they provide to you is an expertise. They do not provide anything which is tangible in nature. So they provide you with their services which are intangible in nature. They provide you with their consultancy which are intangible in nature. So that is why they are classified as services. They cannot be stored. They can only be experienced. And the services varies from person to person. While goods is something that can be stored. So the basic difference between goods and services is goods are something which are tangible in nature. You can see them, you can touch them, but services are something that you can only experience. You cannot see them, you cannot touch them. So this is a major difference between goods and services. Now we have already discussed about goods and services, and now we are going to discuss about what is the difference between needs and wants, because all the business or any kind of business provide us with goods and services to satisfy our needs and wants. So let us discuss what is the difference between needs and wants. Yes. So here's a chart which will help us to understand what is the difference between needs and wants. So needs are something which are essential for our survival. So take for example, here's a house. We all need house to stay safe. So this is something that we all need. So that is why it is classified as a need. It is essential for our survival. We cannot live without them. But talking about a mansion, is it something which is essential for our survival? No, it is not essential for our survival. We can certainly live without them. We can certainly live without being in a mansion. We just need a simple home, a simple house where it provides us safety from the surrounding. So that is why an house is a need, while a mansion is a want. Now, what happens when you have unlimited wants and there's a limited resources which is present in the atmosphere or in the surrounding? There's always a situation where you feel scarcity, and scarcity is something that we as a human cannot avoid, Because take for example, we all want iPhones, but is it enough resources? Is there enough resources that can produce iPhone for all of us? The answer is no. There is not enough resources that can produce iPhones for all of us. So that is why there's a scarcity for iPhones in the market. And most of the scarcity happens because there is not enough factors of production, or there's not enough resources. So we will look into the detail what are the factors of production, and how they are important for any production activity or business activity. So the first factors of production is land. The second one is labor. The third one is capital. And the last one is enterprise. Let us dive into each one of them one by one in detail. Yes, the first one is land. So land is something which is very essential factor of production, because we derive most of our raw material from our land, from our mother earth. So the trees that you see, the forests that you see, the oils that we all get from our mother earth, which is land. So these all natural resources come under the category of land. So land is a very important factor of production for any business. The second one is labor. To convert the raw material that we get from land, it is very important to have efficient or skilled or unskilled labor or workers in order to convert them into finished products so that we can use them. So labor is a very important factor of production for any business. Yes, the capital part. The capital, as we all know, we all any business need money in order to produce or to do any kind of activity, because money is involved in everything. So the money required for businesses to produce goods and services come under capital. So every business needs capital, and that is why capital is a very essential factor of production. Last but not the least is an enterprise. So an enterprise brings together all the factors of production and makes it possible to produce the goods and services to satisfy our needs and wants. So enterprise plays an important factor of production in all of our lives. Take for be it you can take an example of Apple, Samsung, uh, Google, Microsoft. So these are the enterprise that bring together all the factors of production, and they produce goods and services for you in order to satisfy your needs and wants. Our next topic is opportunity cost. We as a human we always have to make choices. We cannot have everything that we want. So when making a choice, the next best alternative that we had to give up is known as opportunity cost. So, for example, here's a bakery which spends all of his money on a new oven. The opportunity cost of the new oven could be a new refrigerator to store the cakes. So, he could have bought a refrigerator also, but that bakery chose to spend all of his money to buy a new oven to bake cakes. So, we as a human also make so many choices in our lives. We cannot buy everything that we want because we have a restriction of a limited amount of money. So we had to give up on something. So the thing that we give up is our opportunity cost. Our next topic is specialization. So the car that you see here is a magnificent piece of art. And to bring this into reality, there must have been various machines or various workers that have put in a lot of effort to bring this into reality. So what is specialization? So when a worker or a machine specialize in some part of the production process, we call it specialization. So take for example, to bring this car into this reality, there's a factory where some worker paint the metal parts, while another assembles the part, and another group polishes the car. So there are different groups of worker who are doing a specialized kind of work, upon this car to make better and efficient products. So these kind of things are known as specialization. And in every organization these days and in every factory, there's a division of labor that a particular group of worker will do a particular job. A particular kind of machine will make a particular kind of products. So these division of labor or doing a particular kind of work or by a particular person or a particular machine is known as specialization. Why do we need to have specialization in our businesses? Because it helps to cut the cost and it also gives us higher quality products. So how does it help to cut the cost? So take for example, you have a worker, you have a labor who is doing a particular job. So while doing that particular job, he gets very efficient. So he can do more work in lesser amount of time. So that is why that person helps you to cut the cost in the production. And in the meanwhile, they are producing things which are of higher quality products because they have specialized in doing a particular job. So that is why specialization is very important, because first it helps to cut the cost and second it creates higher quality products. So that is why every organization these days are following the process of specialization. They are working upon division of labor so that each group, each machine is doing a particular job in the best possible manner to produce the best possible products. Now the next topic is added value. What is added value? So whenever you subtract the cost price from the selling price of the product, you get the added value. And how can you increase that added value? There are two ways to increase that added value. First one is charging higher prices for the same product. So take for example, earlier you were charging $10 for a product that you are selling. Now you can charge $12 in order to increase your added value. So that is a one way to increase your added value. The second one, which is another way to increase the added value, is by using cheaper quality materials to produce that particular product. So take for example, if you are producing a car and the cost is very high to produce that car, you can use cheaper material in order to cut down the cost, and by reducing your cost you can increase the added value. So these are the two ways through which we can increase the added value. So this was the everything for today's class. Thank you.